Your best Claude Skill and AI agents are failing 40% of the time, as mine did, until I faced up with this new update in Skill Creator dropped by Claude, which let your AI agent skills automatically test, measure, and refine themselves. So as you use them, they become better and more accurate, like mine, to increase the performance up to 80% more accurate. In this video, I'm going to show you what is this feature, how it works, and how it can be truly a game changer for your use cases. Let's check it out. Before we get into Claude Skills updates, first let's start talking about what is Claude Skill or a skill in general, because some people might find it a little bit confusing when it's compared to MCP or AI agents. So let's make it clear. AI agents is obviously for automating tasks that you can use some external tools connected to the AI agents, and you know better than I do that you can have a lot of different workflows getting automated by making execution through AI agents. On the top of that, you have MCP servers, which let you connect to external tools, connections that can empower your AI agents. But something that will sit on the top of these two is Claude Skills, or skills in general. So skills is about you provide a specific set of instructions that can be just an MD file that tells how you should use those AI agents and MCP servers to automate a workflow. Let's say I want to start every single morning when the stock market open, go to these sources ABC, find the trends, find opportunities, come up with insights, generate a dashboard for me, then write the results in a Docs file, and then create a Google Sheet for me. So you can see that all these steps that I'm doing daily is a workflow that can be done with multiple agents, multiple sources of data, multiple MCP servers. But how can I tie all this together and don't repeat myself in a prompt every day? This is the moment that you will talk about the skills, and Claude Skills, which was announced I think last October, was certainly a great way to specify that. You can create Claude Skills with just typing in natural language what you want, or through code as well. And here we're going to talk about this new update that let this Claude skill to keep refining itself and evaluate itself and become better and better. So when we talk about evaluation and iteration of refinement, it's sort of towards that CI/CD approach that we had back in the time with any software development. So we have two types of skills. The first one, that when you teach something a new ability that Claude or any AI model by itself cannot do it. Let's say again, the example that I talked to you about, that trading example, this is not something you just prompt Claude. It might do it, but it's not that accurate. I need to try that prompt again and again every day. But now with just a detailed skill definition, I can just automate that process every single day. And a skill is not just a prompt. A skill is a definition of using other tools and services. And a skill can include some Python codes, let's say, for executing something at the middle of a step in a skill. So first, if you want to teach something new. Second, if you want to have a workflow and run the sequence of your workflow. An example of that is an NDA review against set of criteria, or weekly update drafts from multiple MCPs. Or here on the teaching something new is about when you want to create a document, a Google Sheet, or a slides, PowerPoint slides, but you want to make sure the design of that PowerPoint slide is based on your company theme. This is not something you can just give it a prompt and do it. But with workflow, you can do that and automate it. Now, how do you want to ensure that this skill is working properly? Because models are getting updated. Tomorrow, Claude Opus 5 might comes out. So I don't know if that skill is relevant, because maybe the model is much more accurate right now, or not good for my specific skill. So do I need to refine it? Or at some points, the model based on how the inference might change the performance, even the same model. So how do I reiterate and redefine that? So back in the time, you have to do it manually, but now it can be automated by this new Claude skill feature, which I'm going to show you that shortly. So what it does is that it specifies some test prompts. Then it detects if the model is deteriorating, or the performance of the model on that task is deteriorating, and it knows when to retire based on evaluation results. And it keeps trying it again and again and update your skills as it needs to, it needs to get adjusted. To give you an example, this is what Claude added in their blog. They said that we had this document filling sort of skill. You can see that before it has some challenges on filling some specific fillable text boxes in a given PDF. But after that iterative refinement and testing and modifying with this new feature, it was able to update itself and now you can see the position of the text field and after section is much better, again without us manually prompting, telling what's wrong, and it's just all by itself end-to-end automated. Make sure that this skill that we are creating is truly helping us. This is not something that Claude or any AI model by itself can do without a skill. They also added A/B testing. That means what they do, they will start to execute your workflow, whatever you define in a skill, which we're going to see that shortly. And then they will do the same thing, but without the skill. So they compare to see if we are truly seeing benefit of using the skill or not. To give you an example, I was trying to come up with a YouTube video topic and a title for it and a thumbnail design. And I wasn't sure if I just go and prompt an AI model will help me or not. So I did the same thing. I created a Claude skill to do that automatically with and without a skill, and it tested automatically, and I saw that 80% of accuracy increase based on the scores I provided with using a skill added to do that for me, which I'm gonna again talk about that in shortly. Before I jump into the Claude code to give you a little bit of more tangible understanding of what is this Claude skill, let's just start with just simple Claude.ai. If you go there and click on plus, go to the connectors, manage connections, you will see that there's a section called skills. Under skills, you will see a list of examples that Claude provided that these are skills. Some of the skills, they just have one empty file. If you click on the empty file, it will start talking about what is this skill, what it does, what it's supposed to do. And if the skill is using some codes, templates, data sources, they come underneath here. So this one has JS file and HTML. There's another one which we're going to use is a skill creator. This will let you, this is a skill that create another skill based on you ask. I want to create a skill to help me as a YouTuber to create the thumbnail, come up with a YouTube topic. So it's a new skill I want to create. Can I do it manually? Yes, you can. And I'm going to show you actually how, but I can also use this skill creator to create that for me. You can see that this one can also create agents for me with definition of the agents and assets and references, scripts. These are the stuff that potentially your skill might need down the road when you create one. So if you want to create something, you can click on plus icon here. I would say create a new with Claude. That means you just type in chat what type of a skill you want and it will create it for you. Or you can write a skill through instructions. Here you will specify the name, description, and what you're supposed to do with this skill. Or upload a skill. Upload a skill is .skill file. It's a format that encapsulates all your skill definitions and empty files. You upload it here. You can create that with Claude Code on your desktop. You upload it here back. So that's another option you have. But here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Claude Code in VS Code because it gives me much more flexibility to create this skill. So let's dig into that and see how we can do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new skill that is a security reviewer. So it goes through any code base that I provide to this skill. It is supposed to go through that code, find any security vulnerabilities, come up with a nice report, and also call Google Nano Banana 2 model to create an image, which is like a diagram of all the reports and relation between these vulnerabilities that it detected as a picture, which is nice. So you can see that I'm using multiple tools, services, agents defined in one workflow. And to test that, which it does automatically, it supports multi-agent. That means my workflow a skill can be called multiple times in parallel to test different things and tell me which one was better. And it start to provide better instructions to that skill empty file, make the prompts better, make the tool calls better, make the token count lower because we're gonna save, and then it will give me which one was also faster, so I can call it a day and register my skill. So let's get into my VS Code. Here I am in my VS Code Claude Code, and what I need to do, I just need to start typing dash plugin, and here it will tell you list of the plugins that you have in Claude and you can install them. So the one that I'm going to use again is the skill creator that I showed you in the UI. Because I installed that already, it's not under here. It's going to be under install tab, but yours going to be here. Just need to type here a skill creator and a dash between. That's it. So I'm going to go with install one. You can see that skill creator is already there. So that means I can just simply call that. Let me just go out. So I can just say skill creator. There you go. Now it will start introducing itself, that what it does, what it can do for me. We talked about it already. So this is the place I can tell that, hey, what I'm gonna do, so it start creating that skill for me. This is the prompt that I have ready to create this skill. I'm going to create a skill called security review. This is an important thing because when you're chatting with Claude, you can use these names or any other names or multiple names to let Claude know that, oh, it needs to trigger this skill. This is as smart as this. So I want to create this new skill that performs comprehensive security vulnerability audit on code file and make sure you include evals for content refinement. So I want to make sure this skill that I'm adding continually improve itself and also run evaluation after creating this, so making sure it is working properly. So what it does, it will go through all the Python files that I have. I created also a sample application so we will check its security vulnerabilities using this skill later. And I'm also saying that when I'm gonna trigger, so when user mention any of these words, Claude knows that it should trigger this skill. And here I'm saying that scan the following. I'm mentioning a couple of examples, and by the way, this prompt has been created by Claude as well. I'm not a security expert, but this seems to be some of the well-known security concerns that you have in the code. For example, I'm specifying how the output format should look like, and then the overall summary. And something I added as well, I said that after that, I want to generate a visual diagram image for each critical and high severity vulnerability found. Use Python script that create that image using Gemini, and I added that API as well. So you can see that skill is not just a prompt. I can use MCP tools, agents here, another model as well. So I want to copy this, and all the way back here, it's asking me what agent you're going to create. Just paste that prompt and hit enter. So as it's running, it might start asking me some follow-up questions to make sure it understands my purpose properly. And it might take a bit of time, so I might pause, keep also recording, and have some stops at the middle to save the time here. But I will show you in action what kind of potential questions might ask, and also the progress. At the beginning, because I hard-coded my Gemini API key there, it told me, oh, it's not a good practice, and I'm supposed to create a skill to detect those, not a good one. So obviously I wanted to do it for a demo, and I will delete that key afterwards, but that was an interesting point there. And then on the top of that, it's starting creating that full skill structure for what I ask. Now it's trying to run a couple of commands for me, so it's asking my permission. I said yes, and I'm using also Claude Opus 4.6 for creating this skill and interaction with Claude Code here. You can see as it is progressing, it's creating some Python codes that skill gonna use it whenever I call. So for example, it started creating this skill MD file. I will open that to see what's going on. Then it created some Python codes for generating vulnerability diagram. I think this is the one that might call Gemini API. This is the one that might create a web app. There you go, live. I can see the skill MD is getting changed. And the skill MD is nothing, just the definition of name. What is a skill? What's the description here? And some potential details about the workflow, what agent to be called, what MCP to be called. For example, here Google Gemini will be called, so on and so forth, and some instructions on how it should generate the final output. You can go ahead and modify that, but I found this skill creator is very fast enough and efficient enough to create that for me. So it's starting to asking me, shall I go ahead and create these edits to the skill MD? I would say yes. And you can see that it created a bunch of .py codes that I'm not sure when and how it's going to be used in the workflow of this skill. We will check it out later, but just wanted to show you this progress here, so to let you understand a skill is beyond just an AI agent, is beyond just a prompt, and it's beyond just an MCP tool. It's actually a wrapper on everything. You have AI agents, but how are you going to use it? You have MCP servers and agents working together, but how your end user going to prompt them? So this will save them a lot of time, and at the same time create a guardrails of sequence of all the steps need to be done by calling all these components to finally come up with the final outcome. And again, the nice thing is that it's keep refining itself, so this is still going to be even better and better without you reiteratively prompt it back or modify the skills and tools, as all going to be automated here. Here's something interestingly happened that I'm going to show you. So it started to create some evals, which are going to be the prompts that will keep test my skill. As new model comes in, again, Claude Opus 5 comes out, maybe this skill is no longer needed, or it's going to be better or worth. So you're going to have these eval JSON to be used. So you can see that it's a prompt, run a security test on a given file, and it added .py code as an example to check the vulnerabilities, and then expectation here. And you can see the structure of my skill. I have the MD, the scripts, which are the Python codes, and this eval that has these components underneath, and then the test case, which we have 4 evals, 52 assertion in total. And you can see the name, file, and the key vulnerabilities figured out there with the number of assertion. So eval 4 is completed. Now I will start waiting for it to potentially run some more evals or see, for example, how the model gonna generate the image. Moving further, you can see that right now it is running some more evals for me, and it told me that it is creating runs in parallel. So this is that multi-agent system I talked about, that it's calling this skill multiple times in parallel with different queries to come up with the evaluation results and make some further adjustment as needed. These are the eval names, the prompts, the assertion, all automated without my interference here at all. It is running another 8 agents in parallel, 4 with a skill, 4 without a skill. This is that A/B testing that I just talked about. So it's gonna truly see if having this skill here truly worth compared to just vanilla Claude without any skill, to come up with that A/B testing result and tell me if it's better or not. So it is telling me some progress updates that with and without the skills, all 8 agents are running, which is great. And I assume once it's done, it will grade the outputs for me quickly. So still running, I'm waiting for the response. All right, now it's telling me the results. You can see that with the skills and without the skills. This was a very simple skill. I just asked that, hey, find security checks. Honestly, can just prompt Claude to do that, or Claude Code, but I just wanted to give you the idea on how we can switch different agents and MCP servers all together, calling them by a skill. That's why with a skill, the delta was 7% more accurate. It's not too much, but for that YouTube topic idea hunting, thumbnail creation, giving me hashtags, video description, and everything, without a skill was 20%, and with a skill was almost more than 90%. So whole different gain I could get through the results with just using the skill, and I can keep using that whenever I want to create a new video, and it's getting better and better. So we can see the average time, the average token, and also the evaluation. There were 4 apps that I think, yeah, it passed all of that except this one, which says that, oh, the diagram actually failed here, so maybe there's an issue with calling API, or maybe the quality of the picture was not good enough, so it has to refine and call the nano banana again. So I can see some nice summary and key observation got back from my evaluation, or a skill that created its own evaluation by itself. As I was running these evaluations using a skill by itself, it suddenly popped up this dashboard for me by itself to tell me that, hey, I run this evaluation for you. Check this out. I created an audit report for this file. Here's the assessment that I have, the summary, go all the way down. Tell me what you think. So it's using my feedback as well to reiterate and refine that skill. So next time I use it, it is better. I don't want to do anything for now, but if I just click on next here, you can see that it has done the same thing with and without a skill to show me the difference of doing the same thing with the model. So if I go all the way next, different type of data sets that it created for testing got generated for me, and click on benchmark will give me the overall results of this assessment. So how much we got improvement with a skill, we talked about that delta. And per evaluation, the same thing. It's telling me some insights, some what was with the assertion. With the skills, I was able to take all of them. Without, I failed one. Same thing with other files. So it gave me a great summary. But now I want to see the actual results, specifically the images which got generated or not using Nano Banana. So it gave me another dashboard, which is this one. Give me the same test results, the evaluation results, but here I can see the diagrams generated calling Nano Banana, which is another model, and it gave me these pictures back. These are pictures. This is not something I can edit. You can see that if I click on it, I can move around. It perfectly captured my need, calling different tools and services to create this workflow of a skill for me, which at one stage is using this image generator model, which is even not Claude. It's another whole Gemini model that is using Nano Banana there with my API key, which is actually pretty good and amazing. All right, now I'm getting back to my Claude Code terminal. I'm saying that, hey, I reviewed all the tests. I didn't provide any feedback. I could type in a dashboard and click on submit. It will let the Claude Code know how to make the skills better. I said that I didn't provide anything because I'm happy with whatever it is, and go ahead, register this skill. So next time I can just call this skill by calling that name that be specific, or multiple names if you're recalling the prompt. So next time I can just call it and I start using it, which I'm going to show you in action shortly. So let's register that first, and we will come back and see how we can use it. All right, we are done. So it was able to create all these artifacts about my skill. We have an MD file, and we have this .py generate that it used Nano Banana to create a diagram, and we have some evals that we can later on test this skill, keeping better and better as we move forward and using it. So what I'm going to do, I want to now exit I am right now back to my terminal and I'm gonna launch VS Code. This time actually using the UI, which is a little bit nicer. And I have my prompt saying that, hey, use this secure review skill to assess only the app.py file that I have under this demo. I think I should change the name to skill demo. There you go. Folder in my desktop. And by the way, I am just running on one file for the demo purpose. Keep it fast. You can run it on your whole code base. And that's it. I will click on enter. So it will start to search that if I have that skill, if it's registered or not. If it's not, it also start to fetch that from the files that we have created. So it found that secure review skill, which is great. And now I believe it's following the steps that we provide in this skill, which is reading that app.py, finding any security vulnerabilities, give me a report, and then calling down a banana to create that diagram out of it. So it might take some time. I'm going to pause and then continue recording after. Meanwhile that we're waiting for this, at the same time, if you go to the Claude Code terminal and just type -skills, remember back in the time we just had a skill creator, which we used it to create a skill, but now this time I have another skill called security review. That's a proof that tells my skill has been also registered here. You can upload your skill back to the Claude.ai website from the UI that I showed you, so you can use your skills even there. So it's available in Cowork, Claude Code, and even Claude UI as well. And there you go. It seems like it generated a summary for me, a table. Let me actually close this so you can see it better. There you go. So it found a lot of vulnerabilities with this severity level, and it's asking me to run some bash commands, which I'm fine, and with some description, vulnerability, and what's gonna be the fix, which is technically what I asked for doing so from my given app or code. Now it's giving me a little bit of summary, and then I'm expecting that I should generate the diagram for this all critical and high findings, again using Nano Banana. So I assume it's calling that generate diagram.py. Hopefully it's gonna work, and let's see if it's gonna generate the file for me. Again, remember what I did. I just called my skill name and the file that to run that skill. That's it. This is very simple skill. You can do it without any skill, but think about creating a skill that use ton of data sources, tools, agents, MCP servers. Sky's the limit. And the nice thing here is that if I'm not happy with this report, it's too generic, too detailed, short or long, I can just generate the feedback here and type, hey, next time, make it better. The diagram is bad or the table is too lengthy. As soon as I type enter, it starts to add the feedback to my skill. So a skill now is revised and refined based on my feedback as I'm using it. So tomorrow if I call this a skill, I'm gonna have better results. That means I'm not keep repeating myself with different prompts, copy pasting prompts, and with just simple one workflow or skill name, I am running all these workflow and steps, and the result's going to be better than yesterday. So each time you interact with it, use this conversation as a feedback and apply it back to the skill with just asking it what I just mentioned in a text in your terminal or here in my Claude Code UI. All right, it generated images for me as telling me that, hey, I have saved the images on security report images, which I have this here. This is the name. So if I click on it, oh, look at that. It generated all those Nano Banana JPEG files out of this vulnerability that we got from that code. So let's actually check a couple of them. There you go. It just opened that. There's a SQL injection in the task called query. It gave me the recommendation. What's the issue with the code? Maybe for this task, you don't need to necessarily create images, but I just wanted to test multiple tools in a skill. So another one here. Look at Nano Banana 2. The quality of that is really amazing. The text and everything. And can you believe this is just a text? Just a couple of weeks or months ago, we had issues creating and rendering text over images, but now it is crazy. And same thing with the other. I'm just clicking on of them to check one by one. So mission accomplished. Again, if I'm not happy with images quality, I can just answer here that feedback, this and that, apply to the skill. Next time, all of that can be resolved. All right, that was about the new update on a skill creator. I found it absolutely amazing and helpful, especially for people who are not super technical. You don't want to hands-on with creating agent stuff. Give it a shot with just prompting. I was able to create that, and I think it is absolutely helpful. If you found it helpful, please consider like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.